Hello, all my little weirdos. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Freaky Fridays, where each episode I bring you along on a tale of a legendary ghostie. With tomorrow being America's 250th birthday, I thought it was only fitting that this week we head to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C. And if that sounds familiar, it's because it's the big White House that holds our current president. Not only does it hold our current president, it also holds the spirits of presidents past. One would figure that the White House would be haunted, but I didn't realize just how haunted it was until I started diving into it. So let's get to it. Today we are talking about the ghosties of the White House. One of the most widely reported ghosts to be seen in the White House is Abraham Lincoln. Old Honest Abe has been chilling at the White House since his assassination in 1865, and I don't blame him. Have you seen the upgrades they put into the White House since he was there? The Lincoln bedroom is on the second floor and is now used as a guest bedroom for official visitors or family members. But when our 16th president inhabited the place, he used it as his personal office and cabinet room, which is why this room is where he has mostly been seen. It was reported that Abe Lincoln's spirit sent Mary Eben screaming. She was the secretary to the First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt, and when she entered the Lincoln bedroom, she saw his ghostly figure sitting on the edge of the bed, putting his ghost boots on. He has also been seen laying on the bed in the Lincoln bedroom, I guess just trying to get a nap in. There are plenty of others who have reported seeing this ghostie. First Lady Grace Coolidge was one of the first to report seeing him. She reported seeing Abraham Lincoln in 1927 when she entered the Oval Office and saw his tall figure standing at a window, just staring out with his hands behind his back. 26th President Theodore Roosevelt claims to have seen the ghost of Abraham Lincoln frequently roaming the second floor. And Ronald Reagan's dog Rex was not a fan of Abe's ghost. He absolutely refused to enter the Lincoln bedroom and would bark aggressively at the door. Also, former Queen of the Netherlands, Wilhelmina, stayed in the Lincoln bedroom while visiting the White House, and she reported hearing a knock on her door, and when she answered it, she saw Abraham Lincoln standing there in his infamous top hat, just staring at her before he vanished. It was reported that she said he looked oddly familiar to her, and when he vanished, she just went back to bed, and upon waking the next morning, she realized it was the ghost of the 16th president that came knocking on her door the previous night. One of my favorite Abraham Lincoln ghost sightings comes from former British Prime Minister Winston Churchill. He was staying in the Lincoln bedroom when visiting the White House, and he was known to stay up late so he can unwind. So he apparently drew himself a bath and smoked his cigar and sipped his scotch while soaking. When he got out of the bath, he walked butt-ass naked from the bathroom to the bedroom to find Abraham Lincoln standing by the fire, just chilling, leaning on the mantle. Winston was a pretty witty man, so he really didn't skip a beat when he ashed his cigar and said, "Good evening, Mr. President. You seem to have me at a disadvantage." Lincoln smiled at him and then vanished. The last reported sighting of this ghost was in 1980 when the White House operations foreman walked in the door and saw Abe Lincoln sitting in a chair at the top of the staircase. Of course, Abraham Lincoln isn't the only ghost that roams the halls of the White House. It has actually been reported that his son, Willie Lincoln, grew ghosty roots in the place where he spent his last moments. Willie was 11 years old when he died of typhoid. This was while living at the White House during his father's presidency. Some of the first reports of seeing Willie Lincoln came in the 1870s during the Ulysses S. Grant administration. Lyndon B. Johnson's daughter also reported seeing the spirit of Willie, and she claims to have talked to him as well. One of our founding fathers, the third president of the United States, and the guy whose face is on our 5-cent nickel, is another ghostie to be seen at the White House. Thomas Jefferson is known to be one of the more peaceful paranormal residents. You can hear him playing his violin, mostly classical music, from the Yellow Oval Room. It seems that his music can be heard especially during times of stress, while the nation or the presidency is going through a crisis. John and Abigail Adams became the first residents of the newly built presidential mansion in the year 1800. But it doesn't sound as luxurious as one would think, because the building was mainly unfinished, it was damp, and only 6 rooms were livable. First Lady Abigail used the East Room to hang the couple's laundry because it was the warmest and driest space in the house. And I'm giving you this history lesson because Abigail Adams has been seen in and outside of the East Room since her passing. She has been reported walking with her arms outstretched as if she's carrying her laundry. There's also a distinct smell of soap, damp clothing, and sometimes lavender that follows her. Our 7th president and the mug on our $20 bill, Mr. Andrew Jackson, is known as the most boisterous ghostie in the White House. Staff and residents, including 33rd President Harry Truman and First Lady Mary Todd Lincoln, have claimed hearing Jackson's signature deep belly laugh, loud stomping, and aggressive cursing echoing through the halls. His spirit is rarely seen, but is definitely frequently heard, especially coming from his old bedroom, which is now the Rose Room of the White House. The last ghostie I bring to you, but definitely not the last known in the White House, is Anna Surratt. I wanted to end on an interesting note, and this one really made me raise my eyebrows. Anna was the daughter of Mary Surratt. Mary was executed in 1865 after being convicted as a co-conspirator in Abraham Lincoln's assassination. Anna's spirit has been reported to knock frantically on the White House doors while begging for her mother's pardon. In real life, despite Anna's efforts to save her mother, Mary was hanged 3 months after the assassination, but I guess her ghosty self doesn't want to give up in the afterlife. So those are some of the spirits that roam the halls and rooms of the White House. If you have any other ghosties you would like for me to do an episode on, drop a comment below, and until next time, bye!